So with all the mini bike builds and parts comparisons, I figured it was time to do something different. So we're gonna take the Predator 212 off this quad and install it on this bike. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to mount a gear or a sprocket on here, and then maybe mount the engine on the back. So it looks like the sprocket that's on here is welded on. So I'm gonna have to put a 2-piece sprocket on here. So I'll probably end up cutting a 35 sprocket in half, then welding it on the existing sprocket. It already has a throttle. So I'll start stripping this thing down, pull the handle grips and all the cables and stuff off of here. Pull the kill switch off of here. Pull this chain guard off of here, the easy way. Loosen up these engine mounts. Hopefully you can get this engine off of here. The sub off of here. These pedals and cranks off of here. Oh cool, crank bolt already loose. Alright, there's the crank. So there we go, pretty much stripped down. So to get a sprocket on here, I think I'll take one of these off one of the Coleman bikes, 35 chain, and cut the sprocket. Cut the sprocket, basically make a 2-piece out of it. And then just put it over the axle here, and then tack it up to the existing sprocket, to the bike sprocket. So I'm gonna cut the sprocket. I'm gonna run a line across this thing with a straight edge. So let's cut it right there, make my 2 halves. Now I can take my 2 sprocket halves and weld them up in here. So I'll go ahead and clamp that down and tack that on there. Okay, got the sprocket on there. That thing turned out really nice. Nice and centered. So that should work out pretty good. Go ahead and flip this thing over and do the motor mount. I think I'm gonna run a plate across here, and then another plate across here, and that'll give it plenty of room for the chain. Just set the engine on here. So it looks like everything lines up right there. So go ahead and flip this thing over and weld up that plate, and I think that'll work. Okay, so we got the motor mount welded on there. So now, I'll weld the foot pegs. So I'll weld that up on there. And then if I need to cut any excess off, I can, once I get it welded on there. Okay, got the motor mount on there. Turned out really nice. And that'll definitely hold it. It's like 3/16 thick. That's some thick motor mount. Then we got the foot pegs mounted. I'll throw some grips on here to finish that off. So that'll look nice. So now I'll put the motor on there, or engine, and mark the mounting holes. So let's put this engine on here. So that looks about right. Looks like the chain will line up. So let me mark that and drill that out, drill that motor mount out. With the holes drilled out, and I'll go ahead and throw that engine on there and cut a piece of chain to fit. Throw this engine on here. Throw a chain down on here. Got the engine bolted down, the foot peg's done, the chain and clutch on there. So now all I pretty much have to do is wire up this kill switch and hook up the throttle cable, and we should be good to go. We'll test it out. We got the bike done. We're gonna try it out. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you go ahead.
You try it, Charlie.
Charlie says, hell no. There we go. Oh, yeah. Well, we don't have any power.
Okay. Well, I think you need to try it.
Oh, no.
Oh my God.
This bike is for sale.
Yes, this is for sale.
Make an offer.
You cannot turn on this thing. Too much power for a bicycle. And the brakes don't work at all. Whoa. Man, this thing pulls to one side when you get on it.
Brother.
This thing is like the sketchiest ride ever. That thing's crazy. Oh man, that thing's awesome. Oh yeah, and on top of it, it doesn't have any brakes.
You use your feet, right?
You sure you don't want to try it?
Just vibrate and it wants to wheel it.
Just drive it in a circle.
No thanks.
This is the sketchiest bike I've ever been on.
As you were riding it though, I could tell you were getting more used to the ride.
Oh, you can get confident with it, but man, if you had the turn, you're done. If you had to stop, you're done. I was only getting on it maybe like, I mean, barely a quarter throttle.
That's what I mean.
You can't even use the throttle, not even governed. If you go straight, you're fine. And if you keep it slow, you're fine. But you start getting up there like 25 miles an hour, 30, you're screwed.
Yeah, you were going pretty damn fast.
Oh.
And uphill, that thing was moving.
Oh, and I'm barely touching the throttle.
Yeah.
Barely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and another thing too, you can tell that it's only one wheel because when you get on it, it wants to pull to the left hard, like it yanks it.
We're gonna have to cut this throttle way down.
Even a 3 horse is too much for this thing. I mean, because it's just not designed to turn or stop.
Or stop. That's the truth.
Like it just goes super slow, you can cruise it.
Turn that damn thing down.